my name is Sean Roberts, and this is my evaluation for the National Theatre Connections project. So, reflecting on weaker areas on my skills audit, my weakest areas were flexibility, emotional content, and time management and organisation. Evaluating on the progress I've made, in flexibility I feel like I have improved through doing all the different types of yoga stretches. And I did a bit of yoga at home as well. That didn't go very well, but I did it. And also leading yoga stretches for warm-ups as well, that really helped. And I feel like I have improved in that, so it was a 4 out of 10, and I feel like now if I did it again I would rate it a 6. Emotional content, I feel like I have also improved on this as well, using a technique that Rose taught us, or that she led us in, where we all would lie on the floor with our eyes closed and she would talk about scenarios and stuff, and she would be like, so for Tuesday we had to think of being ripped away from our families, and like having our parents taken away from us and stuff like that, and that was really effective as well, and I actually cried. So if I did it again I rated it a 4, and if I did it again I would rate it a 6 out of 10, because I feel like I have improved a little bit, but not enough to boost it up to like a 7 or an 8. And also time management, I feel like I have improved a little bit. It's one of my downfalls because I get distracted very easily and I have a terrible memory, so I forget to do things. So I have the first 2 logbooks I got up on time, and also my study week research I got up on time, but and also my action plan timetable and skills audit and context and stuff like that. But other than that, everything's been slightly later, so I feel like I have improved a little bit. I did it 5, and now I would rate it a 6, because I feel like I have improved a little bit, but there's still loads of room for improvement. Yeah, looking at lighting, what we were trying to achieve, so I've written adding atmosphere and emphasis to the acting, which is normally, like, once you've put lighting with the performance it looks 10 times better, but obviously you can't rely on just the tech. Did we achieve that? I thought yes we did. And how, I have written for the cage we used projection, but that's also in with SFX, which I'll talk about in a minute. And with the computer and drone, we had the flash for the drone, which added emphasis, and also the changing of the lights on Monday when Yain says the angel of light became the angel of adversity. So on adversity the lights were changed to red, and that was quite cool. And then pain as well, that kind of reflected into the wall section. And also in the cage, the dim lights added atmosphere, and it was like really uncertain of where, what would happen, like where Louis would go and stuff. And it was really cool. I actually really enjoyed doing the cage scene. Sound, what did we achieve? So we achieved emphasis. We did a whole scene with just a recording, so we did the whole of Saturday with just Mira's voice being recorded apart from a couple lines, which was really effective. And I said adding emphasis and atmosphere. So in the hacker, the soundscape helped with it, so that was in Tuesday. That helped adding atmosphere and tension and stuff. And also, I wrote somewhere else as well. I can't remember where, but oh, also the answer phone, which I've still talked about. Yeah, no, just the hacker, adding emphasis. Yeah, I think that's it. I need to make more notes. Was it successful? Yes. Which is what I said. So set and props. What did we achieve? Well, we had no set. We were the set, which was really effective. And it also gave us more room to play on stage as well. Props, we had prop boxes, which were successful but needed more organising. So Were props successful? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Costume, hair and makeup. So costume was effective. We didn't really have much for hair and makeup. Well, if any. But, so what do we choose? So the costume was effective, but the transitions needed to be slicker though. But we also had small things to represent characters. So for the school children, we had school uniforms, so like a shirt and tie and bags. And most of it was like props as well. And then for Wednesday, for Yaffa, Benjamin and Deborah, they all had a change of top. In Thursday, we all had our... Oh, Tuesday as well, we had our ties off and we had our shirts like kind of pulled and really messy. And then the same for Thursday, but with ties. And then with transitions as well, for Tuesday into Wednesday we took our shirts off, tucked them in the back of our trousers, put them back on for Thursday, and then did the same for Friday and Saturday, and then put them back on for Sunday without ties. And that was really effective. And also in Friday, Anika had a scarf, which kind of helped show her character a little bit. I think it was successful. And we managed to achieve the fact of like showing which characters we were supposed to be and stuff like that. Special effects, we had projection for Wednesday and Tuesday, which I thought was really effective. So for Tuesday we had a cage projected onto the back of the stage, which was really cool, and like we were the outline of the cage. Yeah, because when we... It's also a bit of costume as well, but when we transitioned from the Custer at the end of Monday into the start of Tuesday, we had our ties. Louis Coffey all went like, brought our ties straight up, and then that was like the outside of the cage, and then when we dropped we put our ties down. But having the projection there also really helped with showing the cage and stuff like that. And then also in Wednesday we had spots projected, so it was just completely pitch black, and then you just had these spots on the 3 groups. So you had Yaffa, Benjamin and Deborah. Yaffa, Benjamin, Deborah. And it was really cool because you just had like pitch black around, and then all you could see was like the top half and stuff like that. It was really effective, and I thought it was successful. So the performance style and techniques, we did originally have the plan to do a naturalistic style, but when moving through and like devising the performance, we decided that it'd be better to go with a stylistic approach. So some of the stylistic techniques include like melodrama, physical theatre, which wouldn't be in a naturalistic performance, and also bigger gesture. So we were able to play around a lot more with more use of physical theatre, and also bigger gestures and just like bigger in general. So with melodrama you need to be completely like over the top, and that also really helped boost the energy of the performance as well. And I thought it was really successful. And yes, use of physicality. So our main physical, I got leg cramp, sorry. Like our main use of physicality was physical theatre. We had quite a lot of it, and that was like our main thing throughout the performance. I thought it was quite successful, and also with having no set, that gave you more to play around with when doing physical theatre. So there was more, I don't know where I'm going with this, but like you were able to play around with what you could do with your bodies more. So for the plane joke, we all became a plane. Like me and Alex were seats, and like other people were representing the plane and stuff like that. And then in Monday and Sunday we were all trees, and we were able to use our bodies to become trees, and that was really effective as well. It's just like little things like that add more emphasis and more effectiveness. That, don't know if that makes sense, but we'll go with it. To the piece, and I think it was really successful, and I really enjoyed it. we don't do a lot of physical theatre. Musical theatre. It's not musical theatre. It's physical theatre. We don't do a lot of physical theatre normally, so it was quite nice to do something different. Use of voice. So obviously we had like speaking our lines, like projecting and stuff, and using like tones. But mostly this also links into sound, but recordings. So we made a soundscape for the hacker, and then also the recording of the answer phone, and having the whole of Saturday being a voice recording, apart from Mira's first line, which is "Hi Mum, it's me." And then her last line I'm a bit scared, if I'm honest. They were the only ones she spoke in that scene, and it was actually really effective, and I really liked that the whole scene was just a recording, and that meant we could have it more of a physical scene rather than Mira just speaking. So that was quite cool. So that was really successful, I thought. Overall, was the performance successful or not? I think it was, even though we didn't get to perform it in the end. I think what we had was really successful, and just throughout the whole process there was bits that weren't successful. So like in some rehearsals people weren't focused and engaged when they should have been, but also I know for my production role, when leading sessions, a bit of feedback I got that was really successful was putting movements to cue words and making sure that like when I was counting people could hear it in their heads and stuff, and that was really effective, and that was also really successful as well, and people said that it really helped them. And like with when everything came together, I thought the performance was really successful, and it's a shame that we didn't get to perform it, but that is my evaluation for the National Theatre Connections project.